Beautiful. So Miel and I are on the adventure because soon we have a silent retreat. I go to America. She'll probably see me at the tail end of my trip to America. Oh wait, we're back. Cool. I guess where there's abundant gardens, they don't really have as much
like,
cell
so
phone
much
coverage. So this is great though. What do we got over here? Is this cabbage?
Oh, it's cabbage. Baby. Got some cabbage and tomatoes behind you. There's sweet potatoes everywhere. Look at this wattle fence, everybody. They use the willow. That's super abundant. And you can see these have been pollarded, which is like that's what they do in Europe. But here they just cut them, right? And they use it to gather material like this for fences and baskets and things like this. And they made this cool wattle fence. I love this because it's like, the sugar hose is a great idea, but actually it's better as a wattle fence, so they just kind of turned it into that. Just walking the garden path along the lake for a little bit.
And you know we've been so busy, Miel. Keep walking with our album. We haven't done any lives about our release.
I know.
I just made some lame posts.
This is a plant called bala. It's supposed to be very energizing. I have a tincture of it, one with the yellow leaf.
This plant is bala.
Bala. Sup?
Get it?
Yeah, I do.
I started it.
I know you did.
Awan, or corn. Awan is the name in Quechua. It sounds more like a corn. It doesn't really look like.
Patch Kids. Do you all remember that?
Anyone remember the Cabbage Patch Kids?
Probably.
That's Greg. I know him from this poetry group I posted sometimes.
Nice.
So,
Hey, Greg. What's happening?
Miel's an amazing poet.
I am. I'd love to hear your work, Greg.
It's like the teenage Guatemalan Saul approaching us.
You're right. Hello.
Hola.
Hello.
That is his doppelganger. Oh wow, co-living. What is this place? This is a place that is no more. Oh, sorry about that, Greg. Yeah. So, yeah, I just kind of, I guess I used the word colorfully in this poetry book. I made this post about how I don't give a drop the expletive, but the SH one, not the F one.
Oh.
So yeah, totally understandable, Greg. Sorry about that.
So wait, okay, yeah. Sorry.
I don't usually use that word either.
Yeah. I'll say mine.
But it was the only word I could think of. Sometimes the expletive, though. Yeah, you don't want to make it a habit. Wow, this place is very cool.
I think I'm gonna have some coffee, guys.
Oh wow.
They have a Temescal.
Maybe I'll have some coffee. So while we got you.
Oh hey, it's Tamila.
Oh yeah. We're just at her house.
We were just at her house.
You can go to guidesofwisdom.com. I don't think she can give you massages from afar.
But she can probably do
something. Yeah. So our album's not out on Spotify yet.
No.
We'll be in a couple weeks maybe. Yeah. But it's out on Bandcamp. Yeah. So what do you have to say about it?
So it's exciting.
8 tracks.
Support us. We actually have some people listening. We've had like even with this quiet little release that we've done, we have some
9 people have listened to like 60 tracks.
Times. So that means that like each of them are listening to 6 tracks, and that's all we have. So everybody's going through it.
Free to stream, to download it. Yeah, you can pay whatever you want. Actually, no, I think it's $11.11.
I don't know. Yeah,
that's actually the price I put to download it. But it's free to stream. But if you are able to buy the album, we one day dream about just breaking even in the musical world.
Yeah, just buying groceries and stuff like that, guys. It's not an extravagant life, but like, you know, being able to create more art and feel supported in it. It takes a community. Luke and I have been talking a lot about interdependence, and there is a reciprocity between the artist and the people who are receiving our art, right? It's like our art has to land to you. We have to use the words that leave us accessible, you know, like as to Greg's comment. and don't alienate you, and then your reciprocity comes towards, you know, feeding us in different ways with your support, your words, your feedback, and also your money.
Sharing the music too. If you like it, you know. I love it enough to have kind of been unrelenting since I was about 12 or 13, writing songs, playing music, with a difficult period where I had an injury where I couldn't really play the guitar or anything. But that brought me back to the piano, brought me to the harmonium, brought me to the kirtan. So the
kirtan brought me to Luke, so
it's really beautiful to see how the full circle of things, because that was a really, really difficult chapter, but I wouldn't trade it for what it's led. Karina wouldn't be here if I didn't need to slow. I was very content to live out of a backpack with a guitar slung over my shoulder. A lot of different writing enterprises to make my ends meet. I was on this third-party system to write papers for college kids. So I got some good education. That's not something I would recommend, but I always quoted this Haitian proverb at the time that there's no sin in getting by. I'm like, this is the roof over my head. This is the breakfast on my plate. So
sometimes it's just about that, but now we're in a space where we get to make different choices, and your choices also support us. So it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool
to be in there. And speaking of choices,
what are you speaking of?
I don't know. It looked like you were about to.
Oh, I'm just changing the link and seeing if I can paste still. Okay, good. So there's the link to our debut album. I'm going to pin it. Pretty cool. You know, it's been beautiful just to see the process of music, and, you know, it started, I guess, with you coming to the kirtan, then you were taking harp lessons. That was an interesting time. Ukulele lessons, and yeah, you know, you really jumped in. I think you held the kirtan before you really had any mantras under your belt once, when in the low season there was nobody else to do it. And it's been we couldn't have given more heart to the kirtan project. So I think you guys will hear it when it's there. Actually, Maureen Bornstein, she was listening to the Green Tara, and she wanted to know if I had the words because she was trying to sing it. I'm like, well, I sent her the studio sheet, and I gave her some instructions on how to play it. And I sent her, I'm like, don't share this with anyone, the unreleased. And she just said that how it came at the right time, and it meant so much to her. So that alone, Maureen, how much that song's seemed to have meant to you, and that you're learning it on your ukulele to play feels pretty good. So I gave her the unmastered, unmixed studio so she could really hear it in, I think, its most pristine, perfect form it's ever been.
It says here that it's Michelle's birthday today.
I will send her a note. Yeah.
Birthday.
She's spending some time off Facebook.
Oh, okay.
She's wiser than us.
That's nice. Cute. Yeah. I have a birthday song. Should I sing it anyway?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, today's the day that life got better. And hooray, hooray, it's your birthday, and our lives are so much better.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay, Lotus says the new album sounds so good. Great job. Thank you, Lotus.
Aw,
yay,
thanks,
that makes us
Lotus.
happy.
Yeah, cute. Yeah, and I mean, and the kirtan, to follow the kirtan album, I feel recording with Luke in New York was the first time I've recorded in a studio. So there was some nerves and some anxiousness and not knowing my process and how I can support the best and do my best work. And so now with this kirtan album, I feel like both of us have learned a lot about how to not only work together, but also support each other and work with other humans and bring a vision to life.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have been invited by you on this path. Not only invited to sit in the front of kirtan at one point, but invited to share the tiny songs and so received in them. This is one place where Luke was an audience member for me, right? And because of the reciprocity of his support, and some of it direct and some of it indirect, I was able to keep going as a musician. So I wouldn't be where I am right now without that reciprocity. So again, this is another cool place for y'all to support the art you love. It doesn't have to be us, but just give an artist a hand. It's tough out there. It can be really lonely, and like it's really awesome to know that there's like a community holding.
That's the
art.
saving grace is like the
Yeah.
community of artists, and not just creating conditions for myself to thrive as an artist, because the realization that you need like a community of artists, surrounding yourself with the domain.
Sal's been incredible. Like you pitched in, Dahi's pitched in, Cammy's pitched in, Serena's pitched in, I've been in, Ray's been in. Like this is a whole family effort, you know, and so like it's really fun to have worked on such a big and challenging.
None of us have done something of 12 tracks with 10 musicians.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's amazing we could do that. You think of like most bands are like 4 people.
Yeah.
So we were working with a lot more. And,
a lot more energies.
But it flowed, it worked. You know, I think there was just enough framework and just enough freedom that the end product tells us it worked. And you know, there were some difficulties of people's understandings, but those led to, I think, greater connections. So, like, that's all you can hope for in life. I'm really just blown away by how good the sound was. I was not convinced we were going to record it in Karuna until I could hear some tangible things. Yeah. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, well, it sounds good. So we're really excited about that. I just put the link up, too. We have a Karuna Care Basket. There's only 4 left. 1 gone, and we're just adding more things to it as we go, rambling around finding trinkets. So it's only going to get better. Listed. Miel just gave some flower garlands of the Bugendelia.
That lives on the Hanuman tree. Yeah, so worked on it after like sitting in our community heart meeting in the morning, and so it's like full of the stories of every community member that's present at Karuna right now. So like, you know, it's a little thing, but it's a little intangible, but it's there, you know, like some of our listening and space holding for each other and love for each other is present in what was created. So it'd be really cool to like send that in a Karuna Care Basket. Hey, like, oh, it's all stuff from our land.
Yeah, those are things you can't place a value on. And in much the same way, you know, my metric for success is I'm already there and I've been there for a long time, because to be able to, like, if you go on my Bandcamp, I was looking at it with Ray today, and I stopped uploading as much there. There's a lot more on Spotify now. But, like, that's since 2020. I have something like 15 releases on there. So, but I've always felt if you get to create in that way that brings your full art, intention, heart together, and then have it received, and to be amongst those that are endeavoring the same intangible but real task, like that's the place to be. So I don't try to get really anywhere else, but I remember this old poet I used to work for in New York editing his poems. He passed in 2021, and because he passed right when I was putting out The Starlight Still Within Us, I put an essay about him, Herbert Englehart, in the back of the book. And, you know, he started writing poetry when he was in his early 70s, and when he was in his late 80s, maybe even early 90s, maybe he was 92 when I met him. I think he was 99 when he passed. So he wrote poetry for 12 years. It's kind of like his whole life story, his experience living in New York, being deployed to the Pacific Rim of World War II. We're all in that poetry, and I got to read his whole life work. And he was always like, you know, he was this, like, he had a New York accent, old man. In the beginning, he was like, we can just correspond through the mail. People always want to see me. I don't want to see anyone. But it would go on to, even after the work was done, I'd always go get lunch with Herbert Englehart. And I was calling him to actually tell him about the recent poetry book I was finishing in Mexico in 2021, when it didn't go to his voice mail machine, where he would always answer when you were leaving a message. He was just old and wasn't going to be bothered by it. But then it went to, this number has been disconnected. So and then I just Googled his obituary, and it's sure enough, probably COVID. He was like 98, New York City, but who knows? But anyways, he always said this, like, I just owe it to the work. Like, he had seen 15 years of his life, kind of spent wrapping up poetically the rest of his life. And he felt an obligation to not just like, and I felt very unsuccessful with him. Like, we edited the poems. I only got them published in 3 journals. And like, I was like calling poets and writers, like just being like, look, I have an article you can publish or you can scoop me. And just like, I think this man is relevant in the poetry world but no, they didn't really want to cover him. But I'm glad my reflections, the essay I wrote on him, A Life Gifted in Poetry, appears at the end of what ended up being my most popular book, Starlight Still Within Us.
Oh, that's so interesting. Full circle.
All right. Well, thanks, Miel. The thoughts? People really like you on this page?
Well, I like the people on this page.
Well, there you go. Everyone's winning.
Like, I know. I love it when we all win. Are we gonna?
Yeah, I'll maybe just order a coffee. I'm just going to go through the labyrinth.
Okay.
Take a little.
Okay.
But you want to come through the labyrinth?
No, sorry. What do you want? Some coffee?
Cappuccino. Plant-based milk. Wow, what a luxury. Wow, look at this basil plant. That is a great basil. Purple basil. Next to horsetail. In the peaceful tea blend that we might be sold out. We might have one, 2 left. But this is one of the 4 ingredients of peaceful air. Horsetail. It's one of the oldest non-changing plants on the earth. You can kind of see how it used to be on the ocean floor, but now it grows on the land. Still likes water though. Cool fire pit. So these would be ceremonial altars. They have 20 knot walls, so usually there's, for each new month in the 20 Mayan months, there's a different fire pit and altar. And then here's a cayuco. These are the boats the Mayans have been making a long time. My friend, who's building an Airbnb in an old chicken bus, used these and he made bunk beds. I definitely, I don't know if I'll be able to do it before I go to the States, but I definitely would love to show you guys what he did. Shores of Lake Atitlan, village of San Pedro. So where I live is there. Soon enough. But we're far away from my shores now. Alright, well, I don't have much phone battery left, but I do have a charger. Okay, so I guess before I go, this is really cool. Oh, that's my face, not as cool. That's all the shells in pumice rock. Many of you know that pumice is a floating rock. Wow. These are actually great. These provide nice calcium nutrients to the soil if you break them up. Let's gather some. People at Karuna love these things, including myself. Fresh water. What are these? They're not snails, but they're not gastropods. They're not. Are they mollusks? No. I don't know. If anyone knows what these are, your knowledge is appreciated. I'm struggling to form a cohesive theory about what they are, clearly. This is a cool colored one. Okay, well, I should probably, if you're a 39-year-old man gathering shells, you probably shouldn't do a Bible. Oh, wow, but look at this one. Wow. Actually, I take that back. That's the best place to do it. Okay, let's look at the floating rocks. The pumice. I sometimes accidentally call it hummus. It's not hummus, it's pumice. Wow, and it's true, they float. Hooray! Alright, well let us wander back then. Oh, what's this? A relic. What was his life before the shore? The driftwood's nice. Lake driftwood. I know a guy, he collected a bunch of these rocks and he built a wall in his hotel. But alright, from the shores of San Pedro, thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, thank you, Lotus. Well, I'll send you some shells in the tea you ordered. So, and then some hummus rocks. Maybe we should add care package because this is actually really good for like exfoliation and like washing your feet. So, yeah, let's grab some. Okay, so there's 4 Karuna care packages left. And if you ordered one before, don't worry, you're getting stuff added too. That's cool. Some things never change, you know. I never got into video games. I guess I just kept collecting rocks. I never got into sports. I just kept going on hikes. I think it's kind of, oh, it's a vertebrae. Something. Cat looks like. Yeah. I don't really understand. Yeah. We're collecting some hummus. I'm telling them how they can use it for exfoliation of their feet for the care packages.
Oh yeah, great idea.
Yeah. So 4 remain, guys. And they just keep getting better. How good will they get? We don't know. But now, with pumice, not hummus. Yeah, cool. Colette calls them hummus rocks too. I sometimes call them hummus rocks.
There was some hummus for sale. And I was like,
Well, we could put some hummus on the pumice and then they would be hummus rocks.
I also love they have like a really nice sound. They're very satisfying.
Yeah, to rub against one another. Oh, look at this one. This is a good one. They're very light, so they won't add much to the weight of the shipping. That's one of the nice things about rocks like this. Light enough to float. Well, this is definitely a shell mecca. And maybe we'll throw a bunch in the pond. Wow, this is actually great gravel sand. Miel's thrilled. Here, why don't you take the wheel? I'm gonna tell them about your treasures, Miel. I keep saying I'm leaving, but that's not the case.
where are you going?